And so Seven Mountain Mandate is this belief that Christians should have influence over 7 areas of influence in our lives, from arts and entertainment, business, education, family, government, media, religion. So when you look at that Seven Mountain Mandate, you can see that it's foundational to the structure of Project 2025, because they're building a program and accelerating it by training people now who can immediately go into office, because they say that was the mistake with the first time Trump was in office, that he didn't have enough operatives to come in. So they weren't able to get all of their agenda done. You know, both with civil rights and the Civil War, you have critical points with your belief system that can justify your bigotry or help you release that. Understand that you're living in an indoctrination that compelled you to believe in your spiritual and moral superiority. So if we just take that to the civil rights movement and look at the message of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who then started the Southern Christian Coalition, while down the street, some of the churches is where you saw the uprising and the return of the men in the white sheets. And it was all related to religion. It was all depends at that critical point in your life that said, what are you going to stand for? And if you are a study of history of how religion is ingrained into these critical, severe points of tension in our history, you will see how oftentimes Christianity shows up in the middle of it. Even if you go over to Europe, to where that man with the funny mustache was, his relationship to Christianity that then required a loyalty statement from churches that would support his regime, and some Christians eagerly lining up behind that to sign it because they believed in that ideology, or some hesitantly signed it up because they were afraid for their life, but they signed it. Christianity supporting that. But on the other side of that, you had Dietrich Bonhoeffer. And if you don't know who that is, go study Dietrich Bonhoeffer and go read one of his books. Dietrich Bonhoeffer was the founder of the Confessing Church and said, we won't sign. We're not only going to not sign, we're going to educate people why they shouldn't sign it. He saw what the man with the funny mustache was going to do to the country. He saw what was going to happen. So he used his faith. He was arrested. And he was unalived a month before the war ended. That's what he used his faith for. So we are at a point. We are at a point in our lives. We are at a point in our lives. And there is no separating what is happening right now. Any of these Christians that are behind the MAGA movement, or any of these Christians behind Christian nationalism, will never be identified with Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Never can claim his lineage. Am I making myself clear here? Where do you want to be? Where do you want history to remember you? It's a scary time, but it's not when we rise. We see what's in front of us and we stand together. That's the message I'm leaving you with today.